Welcome. This video will provide a basic overview of how to access and read a professional remittance advice, as well as provide additional resources for more detailed information. This video is broken into 4 sections. Section 1 will focus on important information regarding your RA, such as how to access your RA and what information you will find noted on the document. Section 2 will illustrate how to read a professional RA by going through 4 different page types. Differences between the remaining pages and what was shown in Section 2 will be covered in Section 3. Lastly, resources with more detailed information on reading a professional remittance advice will be provided in Section 4. First, let's take a look at some important information regarding your professional remittance advice. Nevada Medicaid generates an RA for all providers with claims activity in a given week. Your RA provides details about the adjudication of your claims. In the next part of this section, this video will navigate through the steps to viewing your RA. If the RA is too large, contact Nevada Medicaid to get it sent over to you. Your RA may include important announcements for providers and billing staff on the first page titled, Banner Messages. Please pay attention to these messages and disseminate them to all appropriate parties. One frequently asked question relates to third-party liability, also known as TPL. If your claim is denied for failing to bill the third party prior to Medicaid, the RA will not display the TPL information. Lastly, Nevada Medicaid sends the information populating onto your screen, and more, to providers through their RA. Feel free to pause this video to read through what is listed. The next part of this section will navigate through the EVS portal to access your remittance advice. Nevada Medicaid will only send emails related to an RA if we are directly contacted by an individual authorized to receive the information. You will need to access your RA through the EVS portal, or, if you have a trading partner, you may receive your RA in the 835 electronic format. Please work with your clearinghouse or software vendor to ensure you receive all information that Nevada Medicaid sends in its 835 electronic RA. There are 2 ways to navigate to the EVS portal to begin logging in. First, navigate to the Nevada Medicaid website by visiting medicaid.nv.gov. Next, click the EVS tab in the navy blue navigation bar at the top of the page. Finally, click the second choice, Provider Login, EVS. Typing the direct link into the URL bar of your chosen web browser will also take you to the EVS provider portal. The link is shown on your screen, medicaid.nv.gov/hcp/provider/home. Log into the EVS portal by typing your user ID into the appropriate field and click Login. From the EVS portal homepage, click the Claims tab. Click the Search Payment History link in the middle of the page or in the light blue bar at the top. This example illustrates the linked words in the middle of the page. Complete the fields marked with a red asterisk. Enter an issue date range for the RA you wish to view. The issue date range may only be up to 90 days. You may go back as far as 18 months. Once you have completed the required date fields, click Search. Section 2 will walk through the basics of reading a professional remittance advice. It will cover the list of possible included pages and the order in which you will encounter them. This section will specifically highlight features of banner messages, paid claims, adjustments, and financial transactions pages. Features of the other page types will be covered in the next section. Any images of the remittance advice have been created for the purpose of this training and do not include any PHI. A professional RA may include all of the page types listed on your screen. The pages will always be present in this order, but not all pages may be present if there is not a claim or information matching that distinction. Please pause the video to read through the page types in order. The first part of this section will focus on banner messages. If present, this will be the first page of the RA. Please pay attention to these messages and disseminate them to all appropriate parties. Your weekly remittance advice may include important announcements for providers and billing staff found on the banner messages page. These are messages sent to providers that will cover things related to claims being reprocessed, policy changes, rate implementation, etc. The messages found here will also likely be a web announcement on the Nevada Medicaid website, medicaid.nv.gov. The next part of this section will cover paid claims pages. These pages will come after crossover claims if the RA has any claims matching that description for that financial cycle. The paid claims pages will be used to show basic navigation around the page and will be used as a comparison tool for the remaining claims page types in the next section. On the screen, you will see a paid claims page from a remittance advice. Paid claims will be reported in the RA after any banner messages or crossover claims, both paid and denied, existing for that financial cycle. To begin, every page within a remittance advice will have a heading at the top, highlighted on your screen. Let's start by looking at the center-aligned text in the heading is the title. The last line of the title will detail the page you are viewing. In this example, the professional paid claims page is being viewed. Focusing on the left-aligned content, from top to bottom, you'll see the report number in the first row and then the RA number beneath that. Anytime you reach out for assistance or with questions regarding an RA, please have this number for reference. Under the RA number is the payer ID, which will tell you if it is Medicaid, noted by TXIX, or Checkup, TXXI. Lastly, on the left of the heading, the provider service address is reported. Moving to the right-aligned content in the heading, from top to bottom, you'll first see the date. This is the date of the financial cycle and is important to note as it is when the appeals timeline starts counting. Under the date, you'll find the page number. Jumping down a little in the heading, you'll see the payee ID, then the NPI associated with this particular RA. The check, EFT number informs how the payment was distributed. And lastly, you'll find the payment date. Please take note of the difference between the date in the first line and the payment date in the last line of the right-aligned heading. These dates will be a week apart and the payment date will be the following Friday. Next, we will look at what's called the header section, now highlighted on your page. The first two horizontal rows of the header contain the column titles. Under the titles, you'll see a claim for Mickey Mouse listed. Mickey's member number, or Medicaid recipient ID is to the right of his name. Moving down to the next row, the information will match the titles listed at the top. Reading left to right and top to bottom. First, you'll see the 13-digit claim number or ICN. Next is the patient control number or PCN. If a medical records number is present, it will be listed under the MRN title. Moving to the right, the service dates are listed. In this example, the RA is showing the provider billed $300. However, Medicaid's allowed amount is only $150. Other insurance paid $20. There is no copay or coinsurance or deductible listed. Medicaid paid the provider the maximum allowed amount of $150. Lastly, for the header section, are the header EOBs. At the end of the RA, EOB code descriptions can be found along with any corresponding error codes which are necessary when submitting a claim appeal. After all paid claims are listed, there will first be a detail section providing information about each service line entered on the claim. The final section of this page type is the summary for all the paid claims during this financial cycle. In this example, there is only one paid claim listed, so the summary will be a repeat of information for that claim. Again, this is read left to right and top to bottom. The total amounts listed under the dotted line will match the titles in the header. Because the adjustments section of an RA, if present, is set up and read differently than the other pages showing specific claim actions, it will be highlighted in this section. The fields will be read the same as the paid claim with the titles listed at the top and going left to right and top to bottom. The adjustments provided in this mock RA will show multiple examples of why an adjustment may appear on your RA. In this first example, Captain Hook received services on January 2, 2021 and the initial claim, noted by the parentheses, the provider billed $500, but Nevada Medicaid only allows up to $150 and paid out that amount. Cross-referencing the EOB code, 0120, with the EOB code description found at the end of the remittance advice, the provider submitted a void for this claim. The adjustment is shown without parenthesis and $150 in overpayment will be withheld. As we scroll down on this page, the next example, found under the dotted line, shows receipt of a refund check in the amount of $100 that a provider submitted to Nevada Medicaid. We know this by the 8013 EOB code description found at the end of the RA. This section of the page is a receipt stating we received your payment and this is where it was applied. This final page shows the adjustment summary with a total of the two adjustments equaling $250. Again, the amounts match the titles listed at the top of the first adjustment provided. The financial transaction pages are a summary of all the previous claims pages and will always be part of a remittance advice. The first section, bracketed by the dotted lines, titled Non-Claim Specific Payouts to Payee, is showing money not related to any claim. The example shown is a check sent to the provider from Nevada Medicaid unrelated to a claim. The second section listed, Non-Claim Specific Refunds from Payee, is a repeat of information from the adjustments page. The provider submitted a check to be applied to a claim in the amount of $100. As a reminder, the financial transaction pages will include a breakdown of all of the payments found in the RA, so you will see repeated information from other parts of the RA. As you scroll down on the financial transactions page, you'll view the next two sections, Accounts Receivable and Sister Agency Cutbacks. The accounts receivable section will cover adjustments that resulted in some sort of take-back, but are not related to a refund check. It will not show any amount repaid from an adjusted claim. Refer back to the adjustments page in your RA to view that information. In this example, the first line item shows the $150 from the adjustments section of this RA because it was done during this financial cycle. The second line item shows an adjustment has been carried over from a previous financial cycle and that $50 was recouped during this financial cycle. Line items will continue to show on weekly RAs until they are paid in full. In this case, when the $100 remaining is recouped. This financial cycle recouped a total of $200. In order to see the detailed information about the second line item, you will need to return to the RA including November 1, 2020 in the financial cycle. Moving on to the next section, Sister Agency Cutbacks, expenditure amounts will be reported here and are not related to any one claim. This is not a common section. The Outstanding Payment Deductions section of the Financial Transactions pages will show money deducted due to liens or levies placed against that provider. This is also not a very common section. It will show the original amount, what has been paid so far, and any balance remaining. Again, it will remain on the RA until there is a balance of 0. The last financial transaction pages will have a title of Summary. These pages will show a total of all the claims paid, total from adjustments, total denied claims, and claims in process. The denied claims will not have a dollar amount. The in-process claims are only listing the information submitted with the claim, not the amount that will be paid out. The two current columns will show claims from this financial cycle. The month-to-date columns show the last calendar month and does not go by amount of days. The calendar year up to the financial cycle for this RA is reported in the year-to-date columns. As you scroll down on the summary page, there is a section titled Earnings Data. This section was added to provide clarification and more details. It is providing repeated information from above and data found earlier in the RA. Lastly, is the Payments to Lien Holders section. This example shows no payment was made to the lien holder because there was no payment from the RA. The last page of the RA will always be service code descriptions. This page will report all of the service codes billed throughout the entire RA and a description of those procedures. It will always be the final page of the RA. Section 3 will compare the remaining claims pages to the paid claims page from Section 2. Only the differences on these page types will be covered. The basics of how to read the document remain the same. As a reminder, page types will show in an RA when there is a claim meeting the criteria for the financial cycle being reported. The pages will go in the order shown on the screen. In Section 2, this video showed the basics of reading a paid claim page, as well as how to read the banner messages, adjustments, and financial transactions page types. The remaining pages, highlighted on your screen, will be read similarly to the paid claims. Only differences found on these page types will be emphasized in this section. If present, crossover paid claims will be at the beginning of your remittance advice. Let's take a look at how crossover paid claims pages will differ from reading the paid claims pages. The only difference in reading the crossover paid claims is the Medicare amounts section highlighted on your screen. Again, the page is read left to right and top to bottom. The copay was 0. Paid amount was $50. The allowed amount is $100. There was no deductible or psychological coinsurance, but there was $50 from coinsurance. The remainder of the page is read the same as a professional paid claim page. Next in the order of RA page types is the crossover denied claims page. If present for that financial cycle, these page types will appear after the crossover paid claims. As with crossover paid, there is a Medicare amount section for crossover denied. The only other difference between this page and a paid claim is no paid amount is listed. After paid claims in your RA, you'll find the denied claims page type if there are any claims meeting the criteria for the financial cycle. Because the listed claims are denied, there will be no paid amount. This is the only difference in reading this page. The last page type is the in process or pending claims pages. Pages of this type on the RA are just a listing of claims pending. It is only showing the information of claims billed and does not include any final adjudication results. In the final section, this video will cover helpful resources for more information on retrieving, navigating, understanding, and using your RA. Chapter 5 of the EVS User Manual, Searching Payment History and RA Access, can be found under the EVS tab on the User Manual page. Chapter 8 of the Billing Manual will provide detailed information on claim appeals. The manual can be found, in its entirety under the Providers tab in the Billing Information subpage. You may click on Chapter 8 in the table of contents of this document to navigate directly to Chapter 8 for the claim appeals information. The Medicaid Services Manual Program Overview, also known as Chapter 100, can be found on the DHCFP website. You may navigate to the manual from the Nevada Medicaid website by clicking the Medicaid Services Manual subpage in the Quick Links tab. Once on the DHCFP website, you may scroll to click the Chapter 100 link. Lastly, if you would like to submit a claim appeal, the claim error, EOB, and C code crosswalk will be helpful. The error code associated with the EOB code listed on the remittance advice is necessary for any claim you would like to appeal. This information can be found on the EOB page of the RA or in the crosswalk. In order to access the crosswalk resource, click the Providers tab on the Nevada Medicaid website. Choose the Billing Information subpage. The crosswalk is linked right above the billing guidelines. This concludes the basics of reading a professional remittance advice training video. Should you have any questions, please reach out to Nevada Provider Training at gainwelltechnologies.com. For more information on any of the topics covered in this video or for further training opportunities, please visit our website at www.medicaid.nv.gov.